Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Mina. Welcome to my channel, Mina Reads, and today I'm bringing you guys some personalized book recommendations. So on my Twitter and on my Instagram, I asked you guys to send me some prompts for like book recs that you're interested in, either that's tropes or like the vibes you're looking for or whatever the case may be. And I asked you on Twitter and Instagram to send those in. So I'm going to be giving you guys like some personalized book recommendations, and I hope I can help you guys find something that you've really been interested in. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me on both of those if you ever want to be a part of these more like interactive videos, because I kind of hope to do more of these in the future because I think it'll be kind of fun to get you guys engaged and all that with the content and stuff. So let's look through everything that you guys sent me because you did send me a lot. Okay, so the first one is a wintry but not Christmassy romance. Something with lots of sweet fluffy moments, maybe a slow burn thrown in. So the recommendation that I'm going to give you for this is Written in the Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is a relatively new release. It's a sapphic romance. It's about these two characters, Darcy and Elle, and they essentially start fake dating so that their families will kind of get off their backs about like dating. Like two people, they live in Seattle, they're going on dates and they're doing all of this like cute stuff, but it's fake dating. It's really sweet, it is really fluffy, and it does have really nice wintry cold weather vibes without being like overpoweringly Christmassy, if that's what you're kind of trying to avoid. It's not like super duper Christmassy. It's not like very hardcore Christmas. It's just like generally pretty wintry, and the holidays happen to be happening. The next one that I'm seeing is Found Family, Found Family, Found Family. Found Family like The House in the Cerulean Sea, more Found Family, so you guys are really into Found Families, clearly. One that I would say is definitely The Weight of the Stars by Kate Ancrum. This is a contemporary YA about these two characters named Ryan and Alexandria, and it's about their like slowly developing friendship and romance. But in addition to that, there's a really wonderful friend group in that, a really big expansive friend group, and seeing the friend group and seeing how they interact, how they support one another and everything is really rewarding and wonderful. So I definitely recommend reading The Weight of the Stars. It will hurt your feelings a little bit, it'll make your heart really warm, and the Found Family vibes are definitely immaculate in that book, so I would highly recommend it if you're looking for some Found Family stuff. The next one that I'm seeing is Fangirls, particularly Fangirls of Color. Okay, so Can't Escape Love by Alyssa Cole is a pretty good book about a fangirl of color. In this we have our main character, and she's really into like, I think she's really into anime. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Like, she's really into anime, and she's really excited about like this anime convention that's coming up, and so it's very fun and very fangirl friendly, and I would definitely recommend it because her and this other person, they kind of get to like geek out about their passions together. It's a really cute, really short novella, so I would definitely recommend checking it out. Also, our protagonist is in a wheelchair, so I definitely think if you're looking for some disability rep in books, you could also check out Can't Escape Love for that. The next one I'm seeing is Established Relationships. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I absolutely love books about established relationships and like couples getting their relationship together and stuff. That's like my favorite thing in the world. I don't know why, but it's definitely like my favorite romance trope at the moment. So I would definitely recommend reading You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle if you have not already. That's a really cool book about this couple, but they really don't like each other anymore. They're basically like struggling with the fact that they don't like each other, and they're not sure like who should be the one to call off their wedding. And it's really funny, it's really sweet, it's really heartbreaking and emotional, and I really loved it. I definitely love the way that they like, you know, get their life together, get their relationship together. It's very fun, it's very sweet, and I would definitely recommend You Deserve Each Other. I will also recommend The Bromance Book Club, which is about a married couple. They need to get their life together, and the guy, he learns to like communicate better with his wife through reading romances with his best friends. So that's fun. Also, for established relationships, what else? I'm actually reading an established relationship like erotica right now, and it's called Anything Once by Mika James. So this is about this couple, Ian and Quinn. So it's about this couple, Ian and Quinn, and basically their sex life is like good, but it's very, you know, it's very safe, very tame, and things have gotten a little bit dull recently for them, and so they decided to try like spicing things up in the bedroom, and so far I'm really liking it. I really like the way that this story is encouraging like open communication between you and your partner and everything like that, and it's just really sweet so far. I'm really enjoying it. So I think if maybe you're into something a little bit shorter, because it's only like 100 or so pages, so if you're looking for a novella, that one is pretty good so far. I'm in the middle of reading it, so I can't speak for the ending, but so far it's pretty good. So this one is interesting. It says Pan's Labyrinth vibes, whimsical but dark and dangerous. And honestly, I've never watched Pan's Labyrinth, so I don't know if this recommendation is going to be like perfect for it. But I would say maybe An Enchantment of Ravens by, what was that author's name? Elizabeth?
Who?
That's absolutely wrong. Her name is not Elizabeth at all. This book is about this girl, and she basically lives on the edge of this forest, and she's like an artist, and she makes artistic pieces for fairies essentially. And this one day she ends up painting a portrait for this fairy lord guy, and she paints like human emotion into his eyes, and that's basically like a treasonous thing in fairy culture, so she has to be like brought to trial. And I think it has a very whimsical, really kind of dangerous vibe to it, and I liked it. I thought that it was really cool, and the writing was very beautiful, so maybe that will fit. I haven't watched Pan's Labyrinth, so I'm sorry. A fantasy book with a villain, heroine, or anti-heroine. I would definitely say the Poppy War. Like, Rin is definitely an anti-hero. She's not the best. She don't always make the best decisions. So I would definitely say that if you haven't read the Poppy War already, you should totally check it out, because Rin is definitely not the hero that she believes herself to be. Enemies to Lovers romance. I would recommend you Phoenix Unbound by Grace Draven. This is a fantasy romance, and it's about this girl, and she's like a fire witch, and this guy, he is a gladiator and a slave, and he essentially wants to use her to break out of slavery. And so he uses her to break out of slavery. He uses her and her powers as like a distraction for him to break out of slavery, and he ends up kind of kidnapping her. So of course they aren't cool. They don't have a good relationship at the beginning of the book, but the development of their relationship, I really liked it. They ended up being really sweet together. I also really love the way that the author like handled it, because I mean, obviously kidnapping is not a particularly romantic endeavor, but somehow it worked in this book. So I really enjoyed it. I think if you want enemies and you want like a travel story that has some adventure vibes to it, I think you might be into it. Someone asked for a college romance. College romance. Try reading Snowflake by Nia Forster. That's one of my favorite college romances. I think that that book is like so good. It's like has a very angsty vibes, and I loved it so much. I really am obsessed with those characters. I love them so much. I think they're such interesting, like flawed individuals, and their relationship is so sweet. The development of their relationship is so good, and it's just like, it's just, I love it. I really love it, like so much. Snowflake definitely is my favorite college romance like ever, so highly recommend that one if you haven't read it already. So the next one says something along the same lines as Office Hours. Love that rec. Office Hours is a romance about two professors who work at the same university, and they end up, you know, having mutual crushes on each other, and then they act on it, and it's very fun. Definitely one of my favorite like workplace romance type books. And it's by Katrina Jackson. I highly recommend that book if you have not read it already. So I don't have another recommendation that's about like two professors, but I do have another cool workplace romance that I really love, and that's Determining Possession by Christina C. Jones. And this is about these two characters, and they're like co-anchors on a sports news program, and they are friends. And basically the girl, she was in his long-term relationship. Her long-term relationship blows up in a very public manner, and he's kind of there to provide her with some emotional support. And you know, while being a good friend to her, they kind of transition from friends to lovers. It's a very good friends to lovers book. It's a very fun workplace romance, and I personally really liked it a lot. I think that they're really sweet together, really wonderful, and I think that if you like workplace stuff, you should definitely check this out. Okay, I need to change the lighting because it's getting like very yellow and weird looking, so I need to go turn on a ring light or something. I'll be back. Okay, so something like Howl's Moving Castle, comfy cottagecore, very escapist. I would definitely recommend House in the Cerulean Sea if you have not read that already. Definitely has strong cottagecore vibes. It's very cozy, it's very sweet, and it's about this dude, and basically he's like a social worker. He goes to examine this orphanage, and you know, he's there, he meets all these wonderful kids, he meets the great man that runs the orphanage. It has a very strong found family vibe. It's very sweet, it's very cozy, very cottagecore. So if you haven't read that already, I would highly recommend it. Erin says to give her a sexy ass age gap or a dark paranormal romance. I don't have any age gap recommendations because I don't really read that much age gap romance, so I can't like think of one at the moment. Okay, so I would recommend you the Night Huntress series by Janine Frost. The first book is called Halfway to the Grave. This is about these two characters, Cat and Bones. Cat is half vampire and Bones is full vampire, and they are like this, they become like vampire bounty hunters together. Their relationship is like excellence. I really love them together as a couple. Their vibes, their energy is amazing, and I think that Bones is like such a sexy vampire character. Like, I love him so much. So I mean, personally, I'm a huge fan of that series, and I think that works. Like, maybe check that one out. But yeah, I don't have any age gap recs. Age gap is not my thing. This is Editing Amina, and I love how I was like, yeah, I just don't have any age gap recs. Meanwhile, in this book, there's a huge age gap because Bones is like 500 years old and Cat's only like 20. So technically, that fits for both. So, yay me. Dark Academia. Okay, this one I'm actually pretty excited to answer because I haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about this book yet, but These Violent Delights is such a good Dark Academia book. Okay, so These Violent Delights is about these two characters, Paul and Julian, and they are basically two really young boys. They're like 17, but they're freshmen in college, and they basically end up in this very like toxic friendship slash romance with each other, and their relationship dynamic is just so toxic, it's so terrible, and they're very pretentious people. They kind of feel like they're the only people who understand each other's like moral philosophies, the only people who understand each other on an intellectual level, and so they build this like very isolated bubble with only them inside it, and only they are superior enough to know the world and understand the world in the correct way. And it's just interesting to see how they cycle into this very unhealthy and unhinged like relationship dynamic, and the wild things that they start doing to kind of showcase how much they love each other and how much they're like dedicated to each other and connected to each other, and how much they understand each other on this like greater, higher level. The writing in this is really beautiful, very pretentious. All around, I would say that it was a pretty cool Dark Academia, and I definitely recommend that one. A contemporary romance with a university setting, but they're asking for like a male-male romance. From Scratch by Jade Northcote is about these dudes that they're all like housemates, and it's about this guy, and he's trans and he's like new to the dating scene, and it's really cute. It's about him and like him getting to know his roommates and becoming more comfortable with them, and like expanding his friend group while also meeting this other cool dude, and they're just like dating. It's very casual, very cute, and I really liked it. It was nice. I responded to all the ones that I've already saved, so there might be a few new ones that I haven't seen yet. So let me go check those. A romance where the MC returns to their hometown. A Cowboy to Remember by Rebecca Weatherspoon is about this girl. She gets amnesia and she ends up returning to her hometown in the hopes that it will like spark some memories for her and she'll get her memory back. So yeah, if you're into that, why not? Mafia romance. Menace by J.M. Darhauer and The Hitman by Katrina Jackson. Read both of those. Very iconic. Paranormal romance. I would recommend Mating the Huntress. I would also recommend Good Enough to Eat by Jay. That book is a sapphic vampire romance. It's really fun. I really like that book a lot. Ooh, there's another one. A fun adventure book. I would recommend The Lightning Struck Heart by TJ Klune. This is one of TJ's older books, and it's like a fantasy satire book, but it's really funny. It's about this guy, his name is Sam, and he's like a wizard apprentice, kind of. So he's like a wizard apprentice, and he's on this mission to like find these different things for the wizard that he apprentices for, and it's just really funny. It's a really funny adventure book. It's very energetic, it's very gay. I loved it. Now let's do one last check of Twitter, and then I think that'll have to be it for this video. Okay, a low angst book that's just enjoyable and not stressful in the slightest. I'm fragile right now. I feel that. A low angst, not stressful book. Maybe try something like Love by Christina C. Jones. There's really not that much like angst in that book. It's just two characters, and it's like not necessarily enemies to lovers, but it's just like random dislike to lovers, and their relationship is really fun. It's really cute. They do lots of like yoga and face masks together, so I wouldn't say that that's a particularly angsty read. Both of the characters are bisexual. Very fun, very carefree kind of book in my opinion. So yeah, I really enjoyed that book. So maybe that would be a good angst-free recommendation. hopefully. So yeah, I think that's all the recommendations that I have for you guys today. This was really fun to do. Maybe I'll do another one in the future. And please leave me the purple heart emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Okay, bye guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. And a special thank you to all of my wonderful patrons.